It's time for the gun around, Lou.
Pierce, nobody can hear you.
Well, I'm hot and my balls are touching a zipper.
Oh.
I've been completely hooked on Helldivers 2 for the past month, so I figure it's about time to play a game that isn't good for a change. Lucky for me, the Saints Row Remake was on last month's Humble Choice, a game subscription service that I keep forgetting to cancel. I remember this game flopping spectacularly when it released in 2022. This game flopped so hard, its developers shut down, and it's probably the last Saints Row game we'll ever get, which is a sad end to such a strange, goofy, but really fun franchise. I have a weird history with these games. When I was a kid, I remember seeing gameplay for Saints Row 3 on YouTube under the name Leaked GTA 5 Gameplay. And as a stupid kid, I kind of believed it until I saw the comments. And that's pretty much how I got into Saints Row. What started out as a GTA clone evolved game by game to be weirder and weirder, and by the third game, you're whacking people with a giant dildo. Shit got wild quick. The original 4 games followed the rise of the 3rd Street Saints gang. The first game has your player character rise up the ranks to become the gang's leader as you help lead it to infamy, and eventual stardom in the 3rd game. And in the 4th game, you become the president, get trapped in a simulation after an alien invasion, where you have superpowers ripped straight out of Prototype. Yeah, the 4th game really took the story to an extreme that was pretty much impossible to continue the story from. So this remake made sense when it was announced. Hell, I was even excited to see if it was good. Unfortunately, all of my hopes died when the first gameplay videos dropped, and I was not surprised that it was received so poorly on release. Pretty much everyone unanimously hated the writing and the characters in this game. Along with that, the game had a slew of bugs on release. Combine that with the outdated graphics and the gameplay, and it's clear to see that no one should have let Volition cook on this one, because what we got was one of the biggest stinkers of 2022. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I wanted to make this video as kind of a retrospective on the downfall of this once great franchise, to really experience for myself what made this game so bad. So I played this game for really more time than anyone should be playing this game for, and here are my thoughts. I'll start with the good, because I don't really have a lot of good things to say about this game. Most GTA clones take place in a big, busy, metropolitan city, which is cool, but kind of played out at this point. I think the setting of the Saints Row remake is a cool change of pace. The city of Santo Ileso and the desert surroundings take clear inspiration from Las Vegas and Nevada. Driving around and exploring the map, going off-roading in the desert was probably the most fun I've had playing this game, aside from playing with the stupid beach ball. Character customization is still here too, and it's about as good as it used to be, allowing you to make your own character and choose between male or female voices, which has always been one of my favorite aspects of this game series. Okay, what else? Yeah, that's about everything I had. I really tried to find the good aspects of this game, but really there's nothing this game does better than Saints Row 3. Where do I even start? I think the obvious weak spot is the writing. Cutscenes and dialogue are ridiculously long, and a lot of times the characters will just riff the most uninspired drivel I've ever heard. Either that, or they'll tell some awful millennial, how do you do kids type of joke. I mean, I'm not funny at all, but the writers of this game need to be convicted and persecuted for the crime of cringe.
How's the job?
It's the murder business. Fundamentals don't change, just the uniform.
I can tell you love it.
Okay. I don't have to love it. I have to pay my student loans.
Amen.
Wow, oh my god, that's so relatable. This man is like 40 years old, by the way. So many times while playing this game, a character would just say something that made me sigh and contemplate my life choices. The gangsters in this game look and talk like teenage hipsters from San Francisco. It's like their dialogue was written by a 12-year-old, but even a 12-year-old could write something more interesting. In actuality, this game's dialogue is so stilted, it feels AI generated. Not a single character was likable to me, even my own player character. I mean, come on, the originals had Johnny Gat, Pierce, Shondi, and they felt like your homies, man. There's not a single character in this new game that even comes close. Hell, I can't even remember any of their names. Before the game actually starts, in the character creator, there's an option to just quit the game while you still can. God bless the developer that included that button. They knew what people were up for and gave them an easy out. Driving feels so unresponsive, and drifting feels like you're riding a boat on blue ice in Minecraft. There's a drift button, and while that's pressed, you can pretty much ignore the laws of physics and just drift forever. Not to mention, if you hit anything going over 10 miles per hour, there's a huge chance you'll just go flying out of the car. Like, dude, seatbelts exist for a reason. Just use them.
Push the little red button. And you may want to put on a seatbelt.
I played on controller and trying to aim felt unresponsive too. It's like there's some sort of smoothing going on. So to actually hit anyone, I'd have to abuse the lock-on aim assist, which just felt horrible. Enemies have health bars now, yay, but they don't really react to getting damaged. And when they die, they just kind of flop over and ragdoll. You have to do these awful takedowns in order to regain health. The animations for them are super stilted and drawn out. It's a good thing that the enemies take a break from shooting you to let you complete that takedown. Speaking of super stilted and drawn out, the cutscenes and unskippable dialogue in this game feel like filler episodes in an anime. There's just so many instances of unnecessary or just downright cringy dialogue that should have just been cut completely. The game was so bad, it made me wonder if I even like Saints Row games at all. So I decided to try out Saints Row 3, and just after the introduction, I knew it was leagues ahead of the remake. The dialogue was goofy as hell, but not nearly as nauseating as the remake.
Trust me, Burke. It'll be real.
You're robbing a bank dressed like yourselves.
Hell yeah. Who doesn't want to be Johnny Gat? Ultra postmodernism. I love it.
For postmodern.
I'm cool with the Saints movie, but do we really have to...
You got a plan or we just shooting all these motherfuckers? That is my plan. Works for me.
Let's get him!
Oh my god, they want an autograph.
You're the Saints. You have to sign this for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
Alright, let's continue with our
Don't be
bank robbery.
starstruck, very approachable.
Great.
Want me to sign your breasts?
What? Even gunplay and driving physics felt better for some reason. Drifting in Saints Row 3, for example, actually carries momentum and cars handle much better. The voice acting is better across the board. I mean, some of the voice actors in the remake sound like they've overdosed on Xanax. There's no life to their performances. The remake does have the addition of abilities you can use on a cooldown, but honestly, the game is so easy even on harder difficulties. So using those abilities feel kind of pointless in my opinion. There's a distinct lack of depth to this game, especially when you compare it to its contemporaries. Most missions boil down to on-rail shooting galleries or just driving, which is cool in a game like Grand Theft Auto because the driving and shooting actually feels good. Compare that to just the first mission in Saints Row 3. You rob a bank in a spectacularly stupid fashion, go flying through a plane, and skydive through all this debris while shooting bad guys. It's clear that a lot more thought went into the missions in Saints Row 3 than the remake, which is kind of sad, honestly. The amount of diverse content in this game is so slim. It's like going to a restaurant and them handing you a giant plate with a tiny cube of spam in the middle. One mediocre bite of this game, and that's all you really get. I started this YouTube channel to have fun making videos, not to torture myself. So I think I'm about done with the Saints Row remake. It's such a shame too, because the Saints Row series deserves way better. There are really not a lot of games out there that are similar to GTA, and Saints Row had a chance to capture some of that market, and they completely fumbled the bag. I guess it's just a testament to how difficult it really is to make a GTA-like game, with a living open world, good driving physics, and engaging combat. People nowadays make fun of some of GTA 5's dialogue as a lot of the jokes are outdated, but Saints Row feels like that meme of the guy with the backwards skater hat saying, "How do you do, kids?" If there is any hope for the Saints Row IP going forward, I think the best option would just be to make a faithful remake of the first trilogy. Improve the graphics while adding some content and quality of life fixes. That's a game I think a lot of people would be interested in, be it fans of the old franchise or new players who've heard how great the series used to be. Then maybe continue the story from Saints Row 3 while keeping the game somewhat grounded, instead of doing what Saints Row 4 did. And that's about all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think about Saints Row. Did you like the remake? I'm genuinely curious to see if anyone did. Anyway, until next time, see ya. Okay. Do not include that.